What's up, world? This is your girl P. So, how to know your worth, how to know your value. I literally did a video about knowing your worth when I first got on my spiritual journey, but I've evolved from then. Since then, I've grown, and so the mental frequency that I was on then, I just raised up from that space. My spirit, my mind, I have more knowledge, I have more information, and that's what evolving is. Is learning more information to grow the mind. And as the mind grows, you see more. And so I just wanted to share this because, what's sparking this conversation or this subject, this topic is a conversation that I had with someone just the other day. So I thought I'd share it. And this is something that's, pretty much common in the world that people do, is that when they get hurt, they seek revenge. And it's like, what is revenge? Revenge is pretty much childish. Everything is energy, and revenge is tit for tat. You did it to me, so I'm gonna do it to you, or I'm gonna get you back. And when you do tit for, I've never done tit for tat. To be honest with you, I cannot remember myself doing tit for tat. I want to do it. Oh, I want to do it, but I don't know how to. So this is why I'm sharing it, because I'm not saying it like I'm some perfect unicorn, because I'm not. It's just that I don't know how to do tit for tat, even if I say I want to. I don't know how to do it. Because when I love somebody, I'm always going to love them. And I tell people that I love you forever, and I will. I might not be in love with you forever, but I'm going to love you forever, because that's the type of heart I have. Once I love you, I love you. And I think that a lot of people, you know, that, unfortunately don't realize that love is eternal. And when you know your worth, it's like, I love because I love me. You know, I don't get revenge because I love me. Because what is revenge going to do? It's going to hurt me in the end, because I'm hurting somebody that I love, you know. And I'm not making this video to, trigger anybody or make anybody feel any type of way. It's to help, always to help wake your spirit up and help you see things from a higher perspective that you may not been able to see, you know. But a lot of times people, well, you, like I said, tit for tat, that's which is childish, because children do that. You know, you did it to me, so I'm going to do it to you, or I'm going to get you back, you know. And while you sitting there doing all of this work by getting somebody back, you could be putting that energy into yourself and growing as a person. Because if you, it's like, if you're doing revenge and that person really cared about you, they're not watching. They're not looking. They're not watching you do anything, because you don't spy on somebody that you love. You just don't. You don't. It's like, I'm not looking. If I walk away from you and I love you, I'm not looking, because I don't want to hurt my own. I don't want to break my own heart, because I don't want to see something I don't need to. That I know that's going to hurt me, because I know my worth. I know. I know who I am. I know how I feel. You can't tell me how I feel. I know exactly how I feel, because I know the type of person I am. I know when I care about somebody, I really care about them. And that's knowing my worth. I know what I bring. I know the type of heart I have. And I'm not going to hurt my own self watching a person, like, say, for instance, I'm just using as a hypothetical, because like I said, this conversation sparked from a conversation I had with someone else. Is like, sometimes people think, well, sometimes I feel like I just want to do what they're doing, because I'm mad. And it's like that's not gonna do anything to hurt you even more, because you're doing it to it's like you're doing it to hurt that person, which is hurting yourself because you love that person. Why are you doing that? Unless you just doing it because that's what you do. And we've all been there, because I'm not no I'm not a saint. I'm not saying I've never done anything, but it wasn't to hurt anybody. I was just being myself in the moment, caught up in the moment, of life and things like that. So, yeah, but it's not, well, I'm going to go do this so I can hurt you. That person is not even looking. I'm telling you, when a person when you do things like that for revenge and you don't know your worth, because if just say hypothetically someone cheated on you, and so you in that tit for tat energy, so you feel like you want to go cheat back. You obviously don't know your worth, because you're gonna sell your soul. It's like you're gonna put yourself on the lower market to do something with someone, which is gonna make you feel dirty in the end, because you're not doing it for, you're not doing it with genuine intentions. You're doing it to pay somebody. How is giving yourself away to someone you don't even care about gonna make you feel good? That is it. The only thing that you could do, if and this is not even revenge, even though it's being said to be, is to evolve as a person and grow as a person. And that's not even revenge. That's just like I'm doing me. Like I'm becoming a better person so I can attract better, because obviously you didn't want me. I'm not gonna come down to your level and abuse my own self and treat my own self like I'm nothing, like I'm trash, just so I can pay you back. Like that's making your own self feel low, breaking your own heart, you know, and like I said, when you love yourself, you love other people, and watching them do it's like watching them be with somebody and or whatever. You're not gonna look at that. I'm not looking. That's stupid. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I look and watch you be with somebody else? Like, and I know I really cared about you. Like, I'm not gonna watch that. Good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to watch. It's like that's like going into a movie theater watching a horror movie, knowing you scared to watch. That it's gonna put scary thoughts in your head at night, if you that scary of a person where you don't like horror movies. Why put yourself in a position to see something that is going to take some time to get out of your mind? It's like causing trauma to your own self, self-inflicted wounds, what I'm saying? But it's mental, and emotional, because you're watching something that you can't stand to watch. And it's like, I'm going to watch you do this and do that, and I'm over here suffering in silence. And that's what suffering in silence is. But if you know your worth, you're not gonna put your own self through that, what I'm saying, through a torture chamber. And that's like, even if a job, when people treat you poorly, you have to learn how to walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to walk away from people you love, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta walk away. It's like, I'm not about to hurt you. Why? Because you're hurting me. You know what I'm saying? You need to heal, and and I'm gonna go over here and grow. Because I'm not about to do this. you know, and even with companies, like I said, I've been fired in the past, but I've also walked away from a lot of jobs, and it's not that I'm snooty. I'm not snooty and stuck up and none of that. It's like, I know my worth. You're not about to treat me any old kind of way. I'm gonna sit here and take it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to take punishment like that. It's like, why are you punishing me? I'm not about to sit here and put myself through something, and I know that I don't like the way it feels, and then what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna have resentment while I'm in this situation, and I'm gonna walk around with an attitude, and I'm grown. It's like, why would I do that? And I'm grown, and I'm sitting here mad like I can't leave. Like, what I'm saying? I'm free to do whatever I want. And if I don't want to be in a situation where I'm being mistreated, It's not because I think I'm all that and I walk away. No, I know my worth. Either you gonna treat me right and recognize that you got something valuable in your midst, or if you don't see my value, I'm not gonna force you to see it. You know what I'm saying? That's like being a $50 item in a low market store and expecting a person to wanna pay for what you're worth, and you're in an environment that's low market. Like, okay, I need to remove myself because obviously they looking at me like the rest of these the rest of what they used to, and they don't see my value. So I can't make them see it. Let me go get myself in an environment where it's gonna be seen, because I'm not about to sit here and conform and be in a situation where I'm being mistreated and I know I'm being mistreated, and then I go home and complain about it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll talk to people and complain about it. And I know I'm and I don't and I know and I'm a whole grown person and I can't walk away. What in this world that we feel like we have to stay in situations where we're being mistreated? What are we doing it for? For the sake of what? You know? And it's like, no, because I be doggone wherever your spirit is, and this is why it's all about the mind. Wherever your spirit is, tomorrow's not promised to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can, the next 5 seconds isn't promised to you, and wherever your spirit is when you pass away is where you going when you leave. So if you in hell at a job that's treating you like and you got every time you go to work, you got an attitude. That's where your spirit is at. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to pass away when your spirit is in a low place, because that's where your spirit going when you leave. Because you go back to the spirit realm when you pass away. So you need to be happy at all times. You need to raise your vibration. And if you're in a situation where your vibration is getting low, which is your mental state, you don't want to be sitting there in a state, having your spirit in a space that having you feeling low, and then you don't know if the next 5 seconds is promised you pass away and your spirit is in that space, because that's where it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And I literally had to cut, and I literally came to that realization. Like, it only makes sense. It's like when people say you going to hell, you going to heaven when you die. How you gonna go somewhere that you're not even at right now? You can only go somewhere where you are right now. So if you in heaven right now, when you pass away, you're gonna be in heaven. If you in hell, that's where you going, because that's where your spirit is at. You got to put your spirit in a space where, this is why you have to know your worth. It's like, I'm not about to sit up here and be in a situation where I'm walking around miserable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do it, because I know I'm worth. I know I got to care about my soul, because when I leave here, I'm going by myself. I don't care if I'm in a bus full of 1,000 people and we all die at the same time. Our souls ain't going in the same place. Our spirits are not going in the same place, because it could have been a 500 people on that bus that was happy, and the other 5 was miserable. And wherever your spirit is at is where you going when you leave. So that's why you got to care about your soul, because your soul is energy, and energy can't be destroyed. It just transferred from one place to another, one vehicle to another, one vessel to another, and you go back to the spirit realm, which is the mind. And wherever your mind is at when you living is where you're gonna be when you pass away. You gotta be happy at all times, not putting yourself. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is to know your worth. So yeah, I walk away from jobs. I be needing the money. I'm trying to get somewhere in life. I'm trying to build a foundation. But I'm not going to be able to build a foundation if I can't focus. If I got to keep going to a job that's draining me, I won't have no energy to put into what I'm trying to do, because I'm giving it to somebody that's sucking the life out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving it to a situation that's sucking the life out of me. I don't have to seek revenge. I give it to God, because God said vengeance is mine, and he hit better than I can. Because if I get in the way of what God got for you, that it's not even about me being having satisfaction, because I don't want to see nobody ever care about being hurt. You know what I'm saying? But it's consequence for everything we do. And we can balance them scales if we choose to, or we can let God balance them. It's up to us. But at the end of the day, I'm not about to get revenge and try to balance some stuff. And well, you did it to me and I did it to you. And sometimes people will lead you down a dark path and convince you to do something like that when it never was on your mind in the first place. I know it, because you hear other people talking about trauma on social media a lot, and infecting other people with that same mentality. You hear it and it's like, yeah, I went through the same thing. It's like, yeah. And it's rallying you up to get angry. And it's like, no, don't do that. No. You talk to somebody like me and you even think about doing something like that, I'm going to talk you out of it. I'm going to tell you why you should. It is not going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel lower. And that person ain't even got to do it. You doing it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how you know your worth. And there's other ways too. But then if I keep going on that, maybe I'll do a part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. It depends on the subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I be telling you to know your worth? Because everybody is different. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got different stories. And everybody have, and I'm not saying that what the advice I just gave just now is based on the person that I was speaking to. I'm just saying it sparked me bringing this topic up, because I'll never put somebody's business on the streets that told me something in confidence. I'm just saying I felt like, because I had this conversation with someone, that I should share it too. It's like, when you know your worth, it's like, I'm not about to look at you doing whatever. I'm not about to do that, because it's breaking my own heart. I love myself. You know what I'm saying? And I cared about you, but you couldn't see it. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Just grow, heal, evolve. You know what I'm saying? We all growing, you know. The older we get in life, we got to keep growing, because we know that where we want to go, where we going in life, and where we going in the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? You can't assume that when you pass away, everybody go to heaven. The only way you going to heaven is if you there right now, because you go back to the spirit realm. You going right back into your spirit. And wherever your spirit is at in this life is where when you go to sleep, is where you gonna be, where your spirit gonna be when you pass away. So I thought, I share that, because I mean, when you really think about it, it only makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going back to the spirit, I need to have my spirit in a high place then. You know what I'm saying? That's not to scare you. That's literally force you to grow as a person. It's like, yeah, let me raise my spirit up. It's not and it's not a scary thing. It's like, okay, I did the tit for tat thing. I ain't on that no more. Let me forgive myself, for I know not what I was doing. And forgive yourself, you know and forgive the person who hurt you. It's like, we did it to grow. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, to be on that childish behavior and you're an adult, it just don't make any sense, and it's not worth it. It's really not. And yeah, I hope I helped, raise your spirit. I'm sure if you're listening to this, it helped you look at things from a higher perspective. And if you're able to see it from a higher perspective, then that means you've grown. And congratulations. And that's all I got for you. And I holla though. One love. Peace.